All right. Brick Idea Podcast. This is the one and only C.Monster and
Serious Tone.
Serious Tone.
Serious Tone.
Not so serious.
Not today.
Somebody just got shot outside. All right. And what are we here today to do?
We're going to discuss Dredd 3D. The movie.
Which unfortunately we didn't watch in 3D because my TV's not 3D.
No, that's fine.
If somebody wants to give me a couple $1,000
for a 3D television?
Yeah, I'll totally watch it in 3D.
Yeah. They can even come over and watch it with us.
Yeah, I'll give you popcorn. I don't fucking care. So, we've purposely not talked about this so we can talk about it and record it. I guess just first off, what'd you think? Just shoot from the hip.
Good movie. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. Every aspect of it. I'm not a huge follower of the comics, so I don't know all the details. But movie for movie, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I'm not a huge follower. Well, most things I follow, I'm huge because
You're huge.
I'm huge, so so I guess I'm a huge follower of
everything.
Anything I follow. Oh, it's not 3 minutes in and it's already fat jokes. Oh,
that's
it's all right.
Years I've got up in 3 minutes.
That's the story of my life. I carry a fat card. I'm allowed to say fat jokes.
Oh,
the fat card's really big too. It's got pizza stains on it. I've seen it. God, I don't know how many times now. Everybody that comes over, I'm like, hey, you gotta watch Dredd. It's really freaking cool.
Well, you see it 5, 6 times?
More, probably.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't own. I've got a few comics. I think that I got out of comic bins.
Yes.
And it's the 2000 AD, and there's a whole lot more story past what's just in that movie, obviously. But yeah, it actually makes me want to read a lot more of it. You know what the interesting thing is, though, and I almost spoiled it, and you might already know.
What's that?
But you know how much that movie was made for?
How much?
$50 million.
Yeah.
You know how much it grossed, foreign and domestic?
4?
Yeah, more than that, but yeah, might as well have been, because it was like half that.
Yeah, they lost money.
It literally was like 25, 30 million, something like that.
Wow.
Last time I checked.
It's unfortunate.
Yeah, very unfortunate, because I really, really, really would like to see a second one of that one. I think Carl Urban did a really good job. I don't remember the chick's name that plays Anderson.
Olivia Thirlby? I don't know.
If she's not in other stuff, which she may be, but if she's not in other stuff, I really think we'll probably see more of her. Because she's really cool.
She was in that movie Juno, wasn't she?
In Juno?
Yeah, when she was younger.
Oh, yeah, she was her friend, wasn't she?
Yeah.
She was that, yeah. Yeah, I think you're right.
Yep.
I think I remember seeing that
Thirlby,
too.
that's it. I don't know if that's how you spell it. That's her.
Oh. Well, she played a totally different character.
Yeah, no kidding. She did good, though. I enjoyed that.
Very awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Right off, do you have any specific points that you want to...
The most important thing, first thing I took note of, actually, is Carl needs to speak louder. Couldn't hear him.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And it was a voice he was holding.
Well, that and part of it might be my setup as well.
Maybe.
Because my setup's kind of screwed.
I don't know. The sound effects were fine. Everybody else's voice was fine. It was really him that I had the hardest time. But he had to keep that load.
Is the gruff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, see, it's
hard,
actually...
It's all, hard to talk normal and frown.
If, he would sound like Grumpy Cat. Well, Grumpy Cat would sound like him. I screwed that up. Just reverse that. Just reverse that. My setup, I don't have a really good bass.
Mm-hmm.
So if I had a more bass channel, you might be able to pick him out better because more of that frequency, the bass frequency.
Right.
You drawing boobies again?
Boobies. Nope,
like,
I'm actually...
Yeah, I'm taking notes. Why are they round?
These are the best kind. They're repetitive.
Round notes. They're nice and perky.
Perky notes.
Oh, shit. Yeah, yeah, the sound, now that you talk about the sound, that was one thing that, because I've heard it over my computer in here, and it does sound pretty amazing. The music being slowed down, like when they do the slow-mo.
Oh, like when they're on the drug?
Yeah, when they're on the drug.
Awesome.
Drugs are awesome. No, that's what it sounded like. Music sounds like that when I'm on drugs all the time.
Yeah.
No, not really.
That's what I hear.
What the hell? What are you taking, like what you're taking a Dremel tool to like
that's my drug. My drug of choice would be Dremel.
The Dremel tool to like the front of the refrigerator. Somebody walks in and like, what the hell are you doing? Like, I'm making music. No, actually, I've had a program before that slows down the music like that, and it actually is really incredible. Like the way it sounded all like epic and almost like a really slow orchestra playing. Actually, the soundtrack to Jurassic Park, I heard like that.
Right.
And just a couple notes, you can make it. Yeah, slow down. You can make it. You can make it last like 10 minutes. Just just a little bit of the song, and it's amazing what it makes it sound like. I'm pretty sure they use something like that, if not that program, because if I remember right, it's pretty difficult to get sound to sound like anything when it's slowed down like that.
Right.
Because it has to chop it up into so many pieces. But yeah, the sound I think was pretty cool. One thing when we watched it just a while ago, I noticed that I hadn't noticed before, is every time they move real well, like because they're wearing the armor and everything, you can actually hear it creak, like the leather. And I thought that was really, really, really awesome. That I don't know if that was live, that might have been an actual thing. If not, the Foley artists did a really awesome job on that.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't be anything with sound. So they used the high-resolution video cameras to capture all that.
Yeah. Well,
so they probably had to catch sound to go, what? This isn't even a word.
When have you been known to use words? Word. Yeah, there's probably something that goes along with that. I'm sure. I mean, they wouldn't just have the technology going into the cameras and not have some sort of higher definition sound as well. I'm sure the sound is going that way. But yeah, the sound was really great.
What's one thing you like most about the movie visually?
Visually? Just superficially on the top is when they go into the slow-mo thing.
Yeah.
The saturated colors and everything. Yeah. It's because I've been working in watercolors lately, and that reminds me of when you just take a bunch of, it's basically throwing the rainbow down. You get to see every little color. They made a point to have complementary colors pop out, when that was when it was on the screen. So that was pretty cool. I really
enjoyed that. The water and the glass and everything.
Every time he was looking at something awesome, they always made it a point to reflect it in his
visor.
In his visor and his helmet. Yeah, that was really great.
Yeah, the fire, that was amazing.
Yeah, I would like to have a desktop wallpaper of that. It'd be really cool.
Yeah, we can totally find that.
Yeah, across the board, his suit, like their suits, is one thing that I wrote down as well. The eagle, I don't know if you caught it or not, from the original Sylvester Stallone version, he had that big freaking honking eagle.
Oh, on his shoulder?
Yeah, and everything, and it's that way in the comic books too. I was wondering how they were going to play that off in this movie, and it's there.
They just dialed it down.
They just dialed it
wraps
down.
over
Yeah, it doesn't stick out. So, which of course looks great for a real movie. You know, I like it really dynamic in the comic book, but in reality, you would never be able to have that.
The design of the costume, which I actually paid a lot of attention to, like I always do.
And he got his X back in his helmet.
Yeah.
So,
but the design of the costume, actually, shape-wise, from all the pictures, you know, you can tell that it's totally from the comic book. They just scaled the size down. Not big and bulky. It actually fit like in, you know, a Hollywood movie.
Oh yeah, yeah. As far as I can tell, the helmet is almost dead on. I mean, really as close as you can get and still see at all, because you really wouldn't be able to see out of that.
Well, what I was looking at on the helmets, and of course everything is individually made for each actor to fit differently, but it looked like all the helmets were they weren't cast. It looked like they were actually like physically molded individually. Is what it looked like. Yeah. Because if you go back and look at it, you can see the shapes of them. Like some of them are wider on the bottom, some of them have a pointier top, some have flat top.
Oh, kind of give them individual character.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, I bet you that is. I'd like to look at that because I didn't really pay attention to that. I mean, I didn't see it anyway.
Speaking of costumes,
paying attention. Speaking of paying attention.
Squirrel.
Squirrelix.
That's where I was going with that. Actually, it was the wigs.
Yeah,
in the movie.
Dude,
to me.
Totally.
To me.
Dude, how many guys did you see with just ridiculous wigs on?
All of them?
I mean,
actually, every guy in the movie had either a shaved head or a stupid wig. No one had like a normal haircut.
You know, and the thing is, I wonder if that's what they were going for, or that's just all they got. 'Cause, I mean, everything else is designed amazingly, you know, but I mean, maybe, and you know, we may be missing something completely in the comic books.
Yeah, maybe it might be.
That might be a big thing, and in fact, for some reason, it's kind of, I'm getting a little bit of an inkling, in my mind about. I think they do have ridiculous hair in the comic books. I may be wrong though, but I just think that's funny that the gangbangers of the future look like really bad transvestite whores or something, you know,
with really bad tattoos.
Yeah, with bad. Yeah, I mean, you know, to each their own, but at least pull it off, you know. If a dude's gonna wear lipstick, get it on. Lips, Get it on right. He did it looked like it was all over, and
it was on.
It looked like maybe he'd been.
Why are you interrupting me?
Maybe he'd been making out. Anyway, so I did, however, realize a few problems with the movie.
Okay.
I don't know since you've just seen it. There's actually a couple plot holes.
Uh-oh.
And the thing is, and they're not really so bad that they break the movie. For one, chronological order-wise, when they break into that one room and everybody's on slow-mo, they shoot everybody up and everything, and then she tells him what to do next, and he says, "Don't tell me, call it in."
Right.
They call for a meat wagon. Okay. Directly cut to them. They haven't even gotten out of the building yet. Okay. Building gets locked down before they can ever get out. Did the meat wagon already show up, or did they not get to come?
Oh, good call.
And see, and it's almost like they just forgot about the meat wagon, because wouldn't judges show up in a meat wagon and be like, "What the hell's the problem? Why is the place shut down?"
So true.
So it's kind of a big deal.
See,
good. So it's kind of a big deal, and so yeah, basically, where is the meat wagon? And I think the only other thing I can really say is he runs they're running low on ammo.
Right.
Well, the first judge he meets, and he says, "I'm your backup," and he breaks his neck, or implodes his neck so he can't breathe. Dredd knew he was running low on ammo because he said conserve ammo before then.
Yeah.
Why didn't he take the ammo off of that judge he just killed? They
Instead
do
of
it.
waiting till
They
later.
do it later. He wouldn't have got shot
That's true.
if he would have took the first judge's ammo, and I don't know why it would, because he was already really low. Because I mean, it's in like the next scene
Yeah.
that he runs out. So it's a little bit of a problem.
I like the way you think.
Yeah.
That's good. I did that. Remember, I pointed it out during the movie, the edit flaw when they busted the hole in the wall and they had to jump out of the elevator.
That
shaft.
was a bad cut.
That was a horrible cut.
That was like, it almost seems like maybe they run out of budget or something to show them coming out or something.
Maybe. All right, just walk out of the hole, please.
Yeah, because it was like maybe they had scaffolding.
Yeah.
And they're like, jump from there. Don't worry, the scaffolding's not in the shot. And there's just like
Scaffolding.
it's just a warehouse somewhere and somebody's blowing like ashes,
Yeah.
like with a fan.
That was a bad cut.
Yeah, it was. That was really a bad cut.
Noted.
You know what though? I think that's one of the only things that jarred me though watching it. There is one thing though. My buddy Joey seen when he watched it though, and I don't know if you've seen it. When the two judges come up, or it's after the two judges had come up and they won't let them in, and then
Right.
and then the bad judges come up. When they're like, "Yeah, you're dismissed." That one scene where they're all together and he walks past him and tells him this dismissed. The scene actually has that 80s bad blue screen, like where the foreground color and the background color is saturation's off,
Right.
so it looks like everybody's a desaturated cutout on the
Yeah,
foreground.
but it was. Weren't they looking at that through the surveillance camera?
I don't think that shot was. No, that was almost like somebody was standing out there just watching it happen. So it was. I think it was one of the few type of shots that they had to do like that. Who
Maybe.
knows? Maybe it didn't get done. You know, maybe they ran out of time. So
Maybe.
but yeah, that's pretty much the only problems I had. Now you said earlier that one thing I definitely wanted to go over was his eyes. You said that everything else, Carl Urban, you see his eyes, and he delivers that intense.
Yeah, I mean, think about all of his other movies that he did, where his character was defined by the way that he carried himself on his face.
Yeah.
And his eyes say everything.
Yeah.
All of his movies are that way. I mean, and we can go through the list of all of them if you want, but really, it's his eyes that have the demeanor of like kind of a hard guy or a badass.
Yeah.
So him pulling it off in Dredd, it felt different, but it worked.
Yeah.
Yeah. There was some scenes where he was real stiff, like how you see guys walk around like they're all big and bad and they're swole, but they're not really swole.
Yeah.
They're just walking like that. Like it almost seemed like he had to walk around like that in order to pull it off.
It's actually reminds me of a throwback to either like vaudeville, where you're in the theater, and you know how they say in theater you're not projecting to the people in the front row, you're projecting to the people in the back row.
Right.
So the people in the front row is going to get blown away, but that has to be that way. Or maybe early television. Early television had really, really exaggerated makeup and all this to just pick up the picture. Like the black and white, like guys and stuff would have like lipstick on and everything because they'd have to be able to see the definition because the television signals are so bad. He was so limited on what he could do because you couldn't see his eyes and stuff. I kind of feel that's what he did. He kind of over-exaggerated, kind of did the vaudeville thing to kind of show you.
Maybe that's what I was feeling.
Yeah.
Because I noticed it immediately.
It's a very old-school actor thing to do.
Yeah.
Very, like,
But it's not a bad thing. I'm not saying.
Oh, no. He did a great job with it. I'll have to mess everything up here. I did think of something really funny, and it took everything I had not to tell you during the movie. Okay, get this. Hear me out.
I'm listening.
My idea, and we can't do this because we'll get sued, but in a world where we wouldn't get sued on YouTube for it, I want to recut that whole movie with only one edit, making a change. Okay? This is brilliant. This is avant-garde. This is art. Okay?
All right, let's hear it.
I want to put a squeaky toy in his right boot. Nowhere else. No other changes. I just want a Foley, a squeaky toy in his right boot. That way when they got the scenes up above and all the shooting's done and he looks at Anderson and he's like, yeah. And he goes to walk off, it's like, skunk, squeaky, skunk, squeaky, skunk, squeaky. And then just cuts back to her face and she's just looking at him like, why? Why? She's like trying to psychically figure out why he has a squeaky toy in his boot.
She can't find the answer. That's fine.
Puts a whole new level to the movie. You'll never be able to see it the same now again. For myself, I've got to make like 5 minutes of him walking around with a squeaky toy.
That's funny.
When he takes off running with the big Gatling gun.
Squeak, squeak.
Bop, 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 squeak, 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 squeak. He's running away. He's like, oh, shit. Squeak, 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 squeak. Mama's in her room. She hears, squeak, squeak. And he's just like walking up real slow.
Creeping up on her.
Yeah.
What?
It's his ducky. It's Duck Dredd.
Duck Dredd.
Duck Dredd. Oh my God. I have to draw that.
Yes, we do.
A rubber ducky with a dread helmet. A little judge.
I was thinking something like Duck Dodgers, but Dredd instead. That fits.
Rubber ducky, you're the one. I see a picture of Carl Urban with the helmet on in a bathtub playing with a little duck. Never takes off.
What? No, that's not gonna.
No, I meant with bubbles, not like.
Oh.
Dude, I was thinking Sesame Street. You was thinking like gay porn.
No.
Yeah, you was. I could see it on your face.
Squeak, 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 squeak.
Where's the ducky now? Oh, God. So, yeah, I just ruined the movie. You're welcome.
Thanks.
And
cut.
And we're out.
All right.
Thanks. Come back next week.
Pull us back into the topic.
Rubber
ducky.
You're the one.
Oh, I wrote that down twice. Yes. Okay.
I really
this is what I found a problem with. They gave numbers in the movie that the city had 96% unemployment.
Yeah.
Yet the entire scene surrounding that was nothing but backgrounds of all these stores where you could buy stuff.
Yeah.
Everybody that was in those scenes had nice clothing.
Yeah, I can understand, but the thing is that might have been something like we don't know what their social structure is. I mean, there may be some sort of government help, like so people eat and people at least get something.
Maybe.
Like, and all them shops being there, statistically speaking, even all those shops compared to how many people it are, that's still probably only 4% of the people working. If it was 96% unemployment.
Right.
So,
okay. We'll
and
write that one off.
And it might have just been that block too.
Could have been. I think it's the first block. The main block when you walk in, it's the main level.
Well, I mean, I think that whole building is considered a block.
Oh.
It's a block straight up is what it is. They call them blocks. Like, basically, it's a city block going into the sky. A whole city block.
Right.
Instead of just one building. Technically, it's one building, though.
Wow. Very nice.
What did they say, a kilometer high?
Yeah.
So.
Which
I think they said there's 75,000 people living in it.
Yeah, but like you just said, they did reference kilometers, so that would be like European structure.
You're right. Oh my God, this is weird.
Yeah.
It's in America and they're using kilometers.
That's right.
Our future is metric.
Oh, yes!
You're like, I gotta relearn it, but it's really easy!
No, metric is so much better! I hate standard!
It really is. It really is. The only reason why anybody likes standard is because we're just used to it. And we're not really used to it because we can't tell you half of the standard shit. It's like, what equals this equals that? I don't know.
No, I can. You can't. I do it every day.
Do we want to list what we can do?
No. Let's stay on one topic.
Have a rubber ducky. Squeak, 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 squeak. No, yeah, that was
No, like we discussed that. Remember, you said that you thought that it took place. What, Europe? Or no, it's a European comic?
It is. It's from the UK. I think they made it take place in America just for the purpose of making us look bad.
Yeah, well, it worked.
I don't think they had to try a lot
actually,
of
something that I had wrote down about that.
Yeah.
Did you notice? Did you notice the belt buckles?
The belt buckles.
Mm-hmm.
No, what about them?
They had the eagle.
Yeah.
But it was the red, white, and blue. Had the with the stars,
which
and the red,
stars?
white, and stripes.
Yeah, there was a poster hanging up in the school.
Yeah, I wrote that down too.
Yeah. It's it almost seems like, well, it makes sense because it's mega city. So the United States is probably back in the almost like smaller states like colony time.
Yeah.
Like there's probably like 5 or 7. I think it almost looked like it wasn't 5 because that would have been 2 and 2 and then 1 in the middle. It might have been like 7 stars.
I think it was 5.
Or was it 5?
I think it was 5, yeah.
It's something like that.
But there
was
might have
very
been
few.
I'd have to look at it, but there might have been like 7 stripes or something. Because the stripes were going up and down.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But yeah, it's I think it could have been held anywhere, though. I mean, they didn't have to have it in the United States. It could have been anywhere. It still would have been a great, same story.
Nobody had an accent either.
Well, very slightly. Anywhere. There was no European. There was a little bit, I think I heard a little bit of like maybe like a Puerto Rican or on 1 or 2 other people. But like very, very, very slight. Very slight. Now,
They were extras.
Technically.
I told you not to talk.
Technically, they had American accents. Technically, because anyone in Europe right now listening to that would be they have an American accent.
Yes.
So.
All right. So.
Which is weird because people have to do an accent to sound like us right now, which is strange. They consider it an accent.
Oh no, you're right. You're good. Remember earlier when I was trying to figure out that word?
No,
I couldn't figure it out. You're like, no, because you wouldn't tell me, so I couldn't help you.
Dude, sometimes you just look at me and your mouth opens and then you look away and you never say anything. I'm like, well,
I'm ashamed.
That brain cluster broke. I just see these little, it's like CSI. I see these little vessels just explode in your head.
I was trying to take notes and I couldn't. I kept thinking interview and terrorist, and I couldn't come up with interrogate.
Interview terrorist.
And I couldn't put it together.
Instead of interrogate, let's interview them. We got some of the terrorists today. We're going to interview them. So, have you seen any good movies lately? Yeah, Dredd. It was awesome.
Thanks. We'll see you next week.
And cut.
See?
Yeah. What about it?
No, I just had that wrote down in my little notes here, and I had to bring that up. That was all part of the way I had it wrote down. Was about how when they were going to interrogate him in the room, and then the flag was in the background in the school. We've already discussed that.
Now, let me bring this up. The beginning, when they test out her psychic abilities, the woman in charge tells her to say something about the person she's with, which is Dredd.
Yes.
She says that it's control and anger, and then she says it's something else, and the woman stops her before she goes any further.
Yes.
Do you think, which this is probably stupid because anybody that reads the comic probably knows, do you think that he might actually have a little bit of a background story the way it was in the other movie with Stallone? Like he's some sort of a clone, something special, something done that they made?
Could be.
Because they kind of hint on something different being under there. Like, what could that mean? Or it may not mean anything like that at all.
I don't know. They could have left it open.
It may be like he likes rubber duckies.
See?
And she knew
She's
it.
like, he's so guard. Oh, what the?
Just
rubber what?
wrist right under it.
What's squeak, squeak, squeak?
She's like, I see bubbles and lots of happiness and water everywhere. And it's warm.
And he's over there peeing on her.
Dude, there's two things. You never go full retard. We know that.
We heard
You
that.
just went full R. Kelly.
You never go full
You
R.
never
Kelly.
go full R. Kelly. Oh, wow.
Love it. Duck Dredd.
Duck Dredd.
Duck Dredd.
I am the quack. Yeah, he goes, and that's his voice, like, instead of being like, what the hell, he's like, what the quack? What the quack? I'm so angry.
Dude, it would totally work. Think about it. It'd be like, it would. It'd be just like, I picture like this cartoon drawing of him where he's got like little bitty legs and like little bitty torso, like huge shoulders, and then like this huge bill and this itty bitty little helmet.
It's like really angry Bill. No, totally change it up. Picture him on DuckTales. Totally. Well, they had a RoboCop.
Right.
They had Gizmo Duck.
That's what I was visualizing.
Yeah.
Like with the
Duck.
wheel?
Yeah, with the
that's
one
exactly what I was
Dude,
visualizing.
I loved that. That was my favorite dude.
Is this
man.
sentimental? Did we just...
We did.
We went there.
It's all we did it for the ducky. What? The ducky.
What?
So you can take the ducky, stick it in your bath,
Yeah.
stick it in your bath. Oh, Jesus. And we have that recorded.
That's awesome.
We can die young now. Yeah, there was one other thing. Actually, let me look and see that. Oh, yeah. Really, really cool, right?
Mhm.
So, they just shot up that whole level. And he gets the main henchman. When he comes back and shows how badass he is, that they didn't get shot, he's walking up and she's leaning over looking, and he throws the guy off. And then she turns around and he's just walking back away.
Yeah,
into
it's like that dark shadow walking through the
Yeah,
fog.
just walking away. Well, that's really cool. I don't know if you realized it or not, but they just had a whole thing at the beginning when they found the people smushed down at the bottom. They're like, yeah, it's a message. You don't fuck with the Mama clan. He sent a message. You don't fuck with Dredd. Did the same thing.
That's right.
So he's speaking her language is why he did that, I think.
That's
the same way. And I almost forgot. And I already mentioned to somebody else, and they didn't think so, but, we can have our own opinion. When Mama hits the ground, and her face hits, and splatters and the blood splatters, it makes a big X.
Yep, it does. Just
I
like
showed
the
you
helmet.
that.
Just like
I
the
had to
helmet.
show you that so that you'd see it.
Yeah.
And
You're completely right, man.
I really do think that is a heads up to the X on the helmet. I really do.
I do too.
I think that there was probably a lot of little things. There's a lot of graffiti around in there too.
Mm-hmm.
You could probably go back and watch the whole movie and just read the graffiti and
Yeah.
probably get little interesting.
I mean, I saw a bunch of it, but I didn't actually register a lot of it because...
Hell, that might have been some of the members of the crew putting their names on the walls and
Yeah.
shit like that too. That happens a lot.
Very well could have been, yeah.
So basically, in conclusion, we know.
Wait. Two things.
Okay, shoot.
I really enjoyed their weapons. The DNA, voice activated.
Oh yeah. Well,
Really?
that's another point. The technology.
Awesome.
It's advanced enough to be future, but it's
Right.
not so advanced that we couldn't see us having it.
Yeah.
The guns are amazing. Of course, like we said briefly, I think they've always had those.
Yeah.
The DNA. But I don't think that's so far fetched even today. Probably.
No, I mean, I imagine the technology is there.
I don't
It's a
think it
matter
could
of
be DNA, but it could be something.
fingerprint.
Fingerprint.
Yeah.
I could see where that
Voice activated, definitely.
recognition.
Yeah.
Face recognition. Your phone's got face recognition.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. You could just put the phone.
Put the
Put
phone,
the
to the
phone-
gun.
Put the phone to the gun.
Shoot it! Shoot!
Well, it all Everything has to be synced up these days.
Hmm.
So you take your iPhone to your iGun.
And your iGun is hooked up Bluetooth wirelessly.
But see, the thing is, the iGun is a piece of shit because you can only buy bullets through iTunes.
Yeah, totally. I'm gonna have to get the Android model.
And it never wants to work. And it keeps asking you shit. The Android model's easy. But of course, me, you know, I probably go to Pirate Bay or something, just get all the ammunition I want. You know, so,
Unlimited ammo.
you know.
Click.
I'm just kidding. I don't go to Pirate Bay for anything.
No.
Ever.
Mm-mm. I knew a guy once that did, and, well, I don't talk to him anymore.
He got his rubber duck ripped off.
Squeak, squeak, squeak.
What the quack? Yeah, and you know what? It's funny because I showed you the CES 2013.
Yeah.
All that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that flexible LCD screen.
Yeah.
Totally looks like what could be in his armband when he brings up the perps.
Yes. So true.
I do have a question though.
Talk to me.
It just dawned on me.
Mm-hmm.
He gets over a loudspeaker
Mm-hmm.
and talks to him before he does the flash grenade.
Yeah.
Where's the loudspeaker?
The speakers are on every level.
Yeah, but he wasn't talking over. He wasn't talking over the level. He was talking over his a personal in his arm.
You remember when he rolled the little ball out there?
Yeah,
And then he was talking.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, well,
That time.
the guy with the eyes said that he patched into the network.
That was later though.
Yeah.
When he patched in the network. Yeah, that was after that.
Yeah. So what are you talking about?
He wasn't in the network when he was saying that right then. That was coming from him because they're like, "Where's that coming from?" They even said that.
Yeah. And they
So
said,
he has some kind of a speaker on him somewhere.
No. What they said was let him talk, and they can tell which.
Yeah, but you're getting it mixed up though because that was later in the movie.
What are you talking about?
That scene was way before.
You're talking about the one where.
That's when her and him are still together,
Right.
and he throws out a flash grenade, and
Uh-huh.
then they come out shooting everybody up. That's way before that other scene.
Oh.
But he talks over his armband.
Are you saying where was the speaker at when he threw the flash grenade out?
Yeah, because he wasn't tapped into the PA in the building, right?
No.
It was coming from him.
The speaker.
Was it in the flash grenade?
Yeah, because when it rolled out, didn't you see the antennas that were on it?
Yeah, but see, that would make sense if it wasn't for them saying, "Where's that coming from?" It's coming from over there. Almost like they could follow the sound.
Well, the thing is, like when he rolled it out, they were all standing kind of in a circle, and he rolled it into the middle of them. You know, so they were just hearing it.
So you think it's probably coming from the bomb?
That's what I thought.
I hadn't done that. It might be.
Because when it rolled out, it had like those little antennas sticking off of it.
Yeah.
I don't know
Well, I would have just thought that was just, remote detonator,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's an interesting point, though. That would actually make kind of cool sense, and be expendable.
Hey, look at me.
Dude, that would work really well, because you could put that somewhere and be like, hey, over here, and they'd go to it, and then you could blow them up.
Maybe that was the original idea they had, and then they changed it and said, we'll just roll it out there.
I think it was RoboCop.
He was there.
He was there the whole time.
He was behind the scenes. He was actually shooting everybody they missed.
They
ran out of ammo. RoboCop's like, damn it, they missed two. Pow, pow.
I actually kept getting a RoboCop vibe a lot during that whole movie, always. But I'm a huge RoboCop fan, too.
Well, I am, too. And I think what was giving you the RoboCop vibe was not seeing his face. Like, his demeanor with the way he walked.
That is
and he
totally
carried
that
himself.
genre.
Yeah,
I mean, it is
100%,
that genre.
100%.
That, and I would not doubt that, and I'm not sure exactly the what am I looking for? The inspiration for RoboCop.
Mm-hmm.
But I wouldn't doubt that Dredd could have been an inspiration to make RoboCop.
Oh,
honestly.
probably, yeah, definitely.
Partially, because I'm pretty sure Dredd is from.
Well, did you say it was out for what 10 years before?
It's definitely at least 80s, and I know it was definitely out before RoboCop.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that's interesting. I never thought about that. Yeah, he's probably speaking through the bomb.
That's what I thought. That was when he rolled it out there. I was like, oh, those antennas look retarded.
Yeah. Yeah. It should have been Bluetooth.
All right, so when they
Oh, God.
when they had the shootout
Yeah.
downstairs, and they were actually in the, for lack of a better term, the meth lab where they were making the drugs.
Yeah. The slow-mo lab.
Yeah. It just doesn't sound as cool.
The Mo lab.
The Mo lab. When they were in Mama's lab. Yeah. And I made the comment about them having a shootout and then the drugs being dispersed into the air.
Yeah,
and everybody
totally.
being all fucked up and having a slow motion gunfight. I think the movie should have went off that way and just left it completely open to no one knows what happened to Mao Mao. And
Mao.
No one knows the end of the story or what happened to the girl. They all just get really fucked up in a slow motion shootout for like 30 minutes and then credits roll. That's how I think it should have ended.
Since everybody was fucked up, nobody ever hit anybody.
Yeah.
It's just like bullet holes all over the walls.
And like 40 minutes later, they all sober up. They're standing there and they're like, what the fuck?
What's better is it cross that with like Cloverfield, like somebody with a camera. Somebody's watching them do it.
And they're all fucked up too.
And it only took like a couple minutes. They're just staggering around and they fall over like it's been a few hours.
Yeah.
And the people's like, what was that? I don't understand what happened.
Oh, that makes no sense, guys. What are y'all doing?
Just glitter everywhere. Everything. Glitter guns. If you shoot glitter at somebody at the speed of sound, does it hurt them? Probably, but it's beautiful. It's fabulous.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, yeah. Totally.
Oh, one more thing. Their uniforms. Back to that again, over and over and over.
Mm-hmm.
They were color coded. Did you notice that? Like instead of having like a different medal that showed what rank you were,
Oh, yeah?
they were all
Just kind of pulled the Star Trek thing?
they were all color coded. So like the armor that they all had on their shoulders, they were all different colors.
So, like, the guy that pulled rank and said you're dismissed,
Mhm.
I thought he was a higher rank then, because he was a 20-year vet.
Yep.
Oh, I did not notice that.
I did. And Dredd was the only one.
That is wild. I didn't realize that.
Like all their shields were gold,
Yeah.
but like Dredd was the only one that had like full gold that was noticeable on his shoulders.
So, do you think he was probably top,
I don't want to say he was top dog, like under,
but high up, maybe?
Yeah, he's definitely a somebody, because why would she send Rookie out with him?
Yeah, I think he's the star dude when they want something to get done, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So, I'm just wondering, though, the whole thing kind of feels implied like she knew she would pass, though. Like the woman said, I figured she would. Like, almost like,
what is she?
To me, it almost sounded like even if you said fail, she would have passed. Like, we want her in this,
She did good.
Yeah, I think Dredd gave her a second chance because she was giving everyone else a second chance, but he'll never admit that he gave her a second chance. So, definitely.
That's true.
But yeah, I just hate that we'll never see, one thing about the suits you talked about, they kind of remind me every now and then of Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, with the squared off
chest pieces, and then the back was like almost like a shell,
domed
like
off.
pieces, like pieces in the back. So, of course, I'm too big of a turtle fan, so I see turtles anywhere. I see green, and I'm like, ooh, put a bandana on it.
I see dead turtles.
What? Dear God, man!
No!
Why? I never even learned to read. What does that have to do with it? I don't know. I'm just upset.
All right. The last note I had on here said, I like boobs.
I have one more thing.
Yeah.
And this will be it. And I call myself a comic book fan, so I'm kind of making a faux pas because I don't know everything about it. Watchmen, right?
Right.
Okay. The logo for the Watchmen, correct me if I'm wrong, the smiley face with the shot in the head.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's yellow.
I know what you're talking about.
With a shot in the head and the blood coming down. I don't know if you've seen it, but the perp dude, the guy that killed the people that they were pushing around the whole time.
Yeah.
he had a yellow shirt on. And halfway through the movie, he gets blood on it.
Ah.
And it makes that exact thing. May have been unintentional. I may be reading too much into it, but it looked like that because it was like a run down like this, and it kind of had like a couple little things off of it. To me, it just totally looked like that. Now, I don't know if Dredd and the Watchmen, because when it's comic book stuff, and I know, I mean, Watchmen. Okay, I'm gonna look like an idiot. I can't remember the guy's name that did Watchmen.
You're an idiot.
I am an idiot. I know his name.
Do you?
Yeah, I'm just totally blanking. Oh, God. Anyway, I can get flamed for that. But dude's not American. Dude's European.
Not American.
Dude's not from over here.
I reckon.
So there may be something into that. So I will have to look that
Alan
up
Moore?
and see. Alan Moore.
Yeah.
See, I kept thinking Neil Gaiman, and I didn't want to say it. That Neil Gaiman's the guy that did Sandman. Alan Moore. Yeah. And actually, didn't Alan Moore write RoboCop 2?
Did he?
I think so. I think so. Is Alan Moore the one that did 300 as well?
No.
I'm mixing some of my writings
no,
up.
you're...
Because I think the guy that did 300 also wrote RoboCop 2, and they bastardized it.
I don't know, brother. Ooh, Alan Moore did Swamp Thing.
Yeah, see, he did Swamp Thing as well.
Let's put this to rest. Let's see. That is a good-looking man. Alright. Watchmen, V for Vendetta, From Hell, League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. That's really all we got.
That's Alan Moore?
Yep.
Look up the writer for 300.
And let me look up the writer for 300.
Hey,
Hey,
why don't you look up the writer for 300?
I'm doing it.
Jackass.
Alright, who do you think it was?
Popeye. I don't know. I thought it was... Just tell me.
Frank Miller.
Frank Miller! Frank Miller. That's who did Watchmen also. Am I right?
I just told you that.
No,
Yeah.
you said Frank Miller?
Yes.
For what? I thought you looked up 300.
That is 300.
Or, I mean, Watchmen.
Yeah.
Yeah, you looked up... Okay, wait a minute.
Now you're
Rewind.
just confused.
Yes, I am.
Now you're just confused.
So...
What was the question? Where are we going? Who are we talking about?
I'm just wondering if his shirt had anything
Oh,
to
yeah,
do.
no, the smiley. That's right. I don't believe it did. I know exactly what you're talking about. You're correct. If you pause the movie and get a picture of the smiley face, you can totally see the resemblance.
Yeah.
Maybe that could be an inside reference. Maybe somebody in the movie was part of Watchmen.
Well, you know, there's probably something obvious that we just don't know.
Right. Yeah, that could have been a reference for anybody.
If anybody knows that, let us know.
Please, that would be
if
great.
we haven't already found out.
No, I don't think we found out.
No.
I think we just beat around bushes that didn't need to be
We probably
beat.
forget about it.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, this probably didn't go up on YouTube for another 6 months.
No.
After you beat me to death to do so. So in conclusion, well, you want to give it like a scale of 1 to 10 or something? Or
1 to 10.
Or should it be a different kind of scale?
No, we'll scale this one 1 to 10. I would have to say the overall movie, in my opinion, is I'd say 7. In rewatchability, 7. Visually, it was a great movie. The visual effects, perfect 10.
Right.
Sound was awesome. I give that a 10. But overall, I mean, I love the lack of dialogue from Dredd.
Yeah.
'Cause,
never takes off his helmet.
Yeah, never takes off the helmet. I like that he didn't say much, but what he did say fit perfect.
Right.
And yeah, a lot of 10s on the board, but still overall movie 7.
Right on. Yeah, I think I'd have to say about the same, 7 or 8, somewhere in there.
Mm.
That's just being the, you know, anything over 8, 9, or a 10 is just like really amazing.
Yeah.
Like even Avengers, I'd probably say would have to be a 9 because I'm still wanting to see like maybe 9, 9.5 because I still want to see a 10. I still want to see a 10 movie.
Yeah.
Avengers is pretty damn close though.
Well, it was there.
Yeah.
And that, yeah.
Yeah. We'll have to do another one on that.
We'll do one. We'll do one next week on the Avengers, even though we're extremely late. Well, we're late on this one too. We'll do that. But I love the Avengers. We should go watch it now and then come back in here and do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, rock on.
Because we suck. What the quack?
I don't suck. Just you suck.
What?
Nothing. Dredd, good movie.
I'm going to hear that.
Nope.
All right. So if you liked it, come back and check us out again. We'll be doing another movie really soon, probably Avengers. Whatever we feel like. Really, it doesn't matter. Hell, we might go back and do something like the original Total Recall, because that could be fun.
What?
Too. So, some Paul Verhoeven and some Arnold Schwarzenegger. So, Arnold. So, as always, rate, comment, and some scroob. Some scroob. Subscribe.
Quack scroob.
Quack. What the quack?
What the quack?
Rate, comment, subscribe, and eat a burrito.
Should a burrito.
Shave a sheep.
Fuck a pig.
Fuck a pig.
Oh. Alright, this is wrong. I'm sorry.
Pop some tags. Fuck a pig.
Fuck a pig.
He went straight for the jugular. It was a duck. Smacking ass. Chop some broccoli.
No! Are you hungry? Why are you so hungry?
I'm always hungry. I want to eat souls.